You're ready.
You want to read the second beer read?
Sure.
Oh, I can't wait.
The music's going. Go ahead.
This is me?
Yeah.
This is me. We are here. It's the Could Be Better podcast. Back in person. Back with friends. Back with good times. Colin, you just had a birthday recently.
I did. Thanks for not getting me anything, Chris.
It's actually in the mail. It came from Zimbabwe, and
Wow.
so it's shipping prices are real intense right now.
That may be the case. Ooh, good thing I was looking. Good thing I was manning the board there, or else it could have gotten tricky. But the last time you said that, I got a T-shirt that was 3 sizes too large. But magically, through the magic of washing it and another year of growth, as they say, not necessarily internally but externally,
It could be internal.
fits fine now, man.
Well, I think what's frustrating is that I literally asked you a size and you told me a size, and that's the size I got you, and I just wish you were grateful. But you know what I am grateful about? Old Mother Brewing Company. So this podcast is sponsored in part by Old Mother, and so there is a new hard seltzer. It's a Seltzer Rita, 5%, and it's a delicious new small batch hard seltzer conditioned on limes, lemons, and agave, available on draft only. Can't get it to go. And Colin, my friend, can you please read this next read? It's a local wine.
God, this is long.
That's
Yes. It's the Marazoth?
Sure.
Mazaroth
Go with
Vineyard. It's a family-run boutique winery. It's located in Middletown, Maryland, for those of you paying
where I grew
attention. They are very passionate about working with nature to achieve their goal of growing the finest wine grapes in central Maryland, which might be a low bar. But unlike most wineries in this area, they proudly
Get into
maintain a glyphosate-free vineyard. I'm such a wine expert that I just don't know how to pronounce that word. The Vidal Blanc, or as we call it, the Vlade Divac, is a French hybrid developed about 85 years ago. The wine was produced from Vlade Divac and tends to be fruity with aroma notes resembling grapefruit and pineapple. There are many who feel that the local Vlade Divac is superior to that grown anywhere else in the world. Here's to you, Vlade, for losing that series with the Kings in 2009.
Wow. That was great. And I gave you a really tough one. And I feel like you resent me now for
Ooh, I did not pronounce a lot of those correctly.
it. Yeah, you also didn't. Like, there's a whole bunch of awards they won and all sorts of cool stuff. So anyway, so go check that out, Old Mother.
Yeah.
This podcast is also brought to you by our
Right there,
sponsors, Texas Roadhouse. You want to do a giveaway?
Yeah, we definitely should here.
Yeah, let's do $50.
We'll do $50. That's a good giveaway for anybody who's listening or watching. All you have to do, and now we're not asking much.
No.
We just want to hear which shows you are excited about to see at SkyStage this summer, correct?
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that's who we have on.
That's who we have
We're going
on.
to talk about this season. If there's a band you want to see, in fact, whatever, you just need to use the hashtag CBB SkyStage.
Look at
That's
that.
it. Could be better SkyStage. We'll give you $50 worth of Texas Roadhouse, and I just learned that could stretch out for 3 different meals.
Yeah, it's surprising how much $50 really gets you at Texas Roadhouse.
I know.
Bargain deals. Family focused, delicious
It
food.
gets you that Middletown wine.
Hey. Speaking of wine, so this episode is out on Thursday. We're taping right now on
This is
Monday.
the quickest turnaround we've ever had, so we don't have to think about how
What's
many
coming
weeks
up.
ahead
No.
of shows, right? Like,
Yeah, the
there's-
Bucks played tonight, and they
Well,
they
They
won.
probably didn't cover, but we don't know.
Yeah, no. So yeah, that's a great thing. It's like we don't have to think about
It
too far
is.
when.
Maybe we'll do an outro after the intro. We'll do an outro later. I don't know, because there's actually current events, right? We could talk about my birthday. We could talk about the NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs, all of the bets.
All the sports.
All of the sports. You.
Well, I mean, yeah, but you also recently. I heard you wrote a strongly worded email.
I did to Wendy's. So for
Wait. Wendy's the restaurant.
Wendy's the restaurant.
We got
this. No, I know. I was just making sure because we've had problems, friends.
I didn't think about it until just now, and
That's
now I'm stressing.
You gotta think up here.
Friends.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, no, Wendy's. So I won. We've talked about this before. I have free Wendy's for a year. That amounts to one sandwich per week for a year you get for free, with the caveat that you have to buy something.
Trash.
So what I did was I placed an order, a substantial order on the app, because I want the points.
In the teens.
And I want the points. I'm big on the points. By the way, Wendy's is the only app that did not send me a birthday gift. Thank you, Wendy's. And I went in and I said, I'm picking up this order. I've already paid for it. It's in the teens of dollars. Can you please now give me my free hamburger? And they said, you still have to buy something. And I said, what do these 2 bags mean? I bought something. I bought a lot of some things.
Yeah.
And the manager said, no, you still have to buy something. So I came home. I looked up the Wendy's corporate headquarters email address. I emailed them a sternly worded email, and wouldn't you know it?
Cricket.
Yeah,
Cricket.
I haven't heard anything.
Cricket.
So I think and you know, the other thing, I get a free bloomin' onion from Outback. Tried to redeem that before this taping tonight because I don't know what in the world I'm going to eat. They took it away from me too. So Outback and Wendy's.
You're on the list.
Yeah, you're on the list.
You know who else is on the list?
Old Mother.
Tucker Carlson.
Oh boy. Well, or Don Lemon too.
Yeah, I know. I saw both. Yeah, both got canned today. I thought that was really
This
interesting.
was a hell of a media. It's kind of fun to be able to talk about current events on this. Yeah, they got canned. The Don Lemon thing is interesting. The Tucker Carlson thing, though, this has to be a direct response to the Dominion lawsuit. It has to be.
Yeah.
I mean, that's $800 million rounding up, but it's $800 million worth of something there. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to say it doesn't feel good. Like when the Apple News headline broke up, I was like, it's hard. Like, it does suck when someone loses their job, but at the same time, like, I'm okay about it.
I just wonder, like, there will be books written in 10 to 20 years about this whole process. You know, the text messages that were leaked from Tucker Carlson about how he despises Donald Trump and all of those things. I don't know how much that played into it. Nobody does. I'm sure there are some people who do. But you also have to think this. If Tucker Carlson is going to advance even more right to an even more right-wing media outlet, he's not good at staying silent. So he'll talk, right?
Yeah. It's like I had that same thought today because there's that new HBO show out. It's a mini series, I guess, and it's the Watergate. It's what's it called? The Something Plumbers. Anyway, but it's
I know what you mean.
It's Woody Harrelson and Justin Theroux. And so I was like, oh, it's really interesting. There's like a big, prolific inside job that was done regarding the presidency, and it's now talked about and kind of like almost fondly talked about. Watergate. It's the Watergate scandals, right? And so within the last several years, there's been a lot of things that aren't necessarily so fondly talked about, but it's like, okay, at what point are we going to see like, a Game of Thrones version of January 6th or, what is that going to look like?
Oh, I never went there. See, I don't necessarily, and for all you Republican viewers out there, I do apologize, but I don't necessarily think that Fox News is changing anything. Sure. I don't think that anything substantial is here. You just need a head on a pike coming out of that, because they still have, I think it's 3 other lawsuits they have to deal with.
Yeah.
You need something there. The only thing that I would be interested to hear more about is the idea, of course, with the messages, him saying he despises Donald Trump. And did that play into this? I didn't think it would, but I don't know. I don't know. It seems like, and to be fair, and we can wrap it up on this, anybody you put in that spot on Fox News, 8 p.m. on a weeknight, I mean, it was Bill O'Reilly before. You can do Glenn Beck if you want. They're gonna do numbers. They're gonna be the most watched cable news television show of the evening. That's just what that is. I'm very interested. If Fox News has any balls, they don't. But wouldn't it be great to see a woman in that position or a minority in that position? Like, that could be a lot of fun, because then everybody says, whoa. Like, it's been nothing but white men.
Sure, that's fair. Yeah, it's interesting because, I mean, so what? Megyn Kelly's off doing her own thing now, right? So she's gone. But
she
it's
kind of
like,
hates Fox News, right?
Yeah. Yeah, very much so. And then I think the interesting thing is, like, you got a couple, you got Boebert, you got Taylor Greene, you have, what's her name? Oh, gosh, the one that's really annoying. The blonde.
There's not one.
Yeah, I know. It's Tammy something.
Tammy Wynette.
God, no, it's not her. But anyway, it's like there's another one that's like she's also
Melania Trump.
No, I would tune in for that. That'd be kind of fun. You never know what she was gonna do.
Yeah, she sees boy.
Yeah, her face doesn't either though. That's crazy.
Being in that position and being as silent as she has been through all those years of the presidency and through everything, man,
it's a skill.
That is a hell of a person. I'll tell you that. I don't know how.
Or lack of a person.
Maybe, but I don't know. I believe in humanity a little bit. She's not a robot. I guess we'll do Chat GPTCBO.
Yeah. Speaking of things that aren't robots, though, we have an excellent guest.
Amazing guest.
So Logan, and actually Waters. That's right. I was like, I don't know his last name.
Yeah. We'll ask Logan about what he thinks is going to happen on Fox News. I don't know how this open turned into pro Fox News.
No. Well, I mean, sure. If you want to be a sponsor, I mean, that's fine. We will not take your money, unless it's like $800 million. But Logan Waters is here. He
By
runs.
the way, wait a second. Going back to that ever briefly. Dominion wanted $1.5 billion.
And they took half.
And they took half of that. So whatever happened in those settlements, are we to believe? And again, this is knee jerk. When you see this on Thursday, this could change and we could know more, but this is hours away. Maybe they only took half of it because one of the conditions was get Tucker Carlson out of there.
It'd be interesting. I mean, it's understandable why Dominion would be petty like that. I mean, I get it, right? I mean, I've seen
if this happens
show.
Between now and when this airs.
Can you make a bet on it right now?
If that happens, I'm coming in hot next. Tune in.
So we got Logan Waters on, and he does live sound for a lot of FAC events, but specifically at SkyStage. And so you can see these. What are these called? End caps.
The end caps. And if you remember last year,
end caps are what's at grocery stores.
Tops.
Cards.
I don't know.
It's a schedule.
Play cards.
It's a schedule.
Okay.
And there's tons of cool stuff that we're going to talk about.
Right, and we did this last year with Maura, who came on and talked about the SkyStage schedule.
Yep.
That's what we're doing now. Again, can we believe we kept up a tradition?
Yeah, because we have a tradition of taping a podcast once every couple weeks. But before we talk about anything else that's not a tradition, we have one super important thing to talk about that's coming up. Actually, it's a couple shows, so could be better. We do the music booking at Old Mother Brewing Company here in town. Hey, shout out to Old Mother, we love you. So we have a couple shows, which they can all be found on our website, couldbebettermeh.com/shows. You can check out our calendar and check out all sorts of things. But again, all the shows are 21 plus to drink, all ages to attend, and they are free. So we have Milestones, Glory, and Films on Song playing on Friday, 5/5.
Films on Song, man. Blur. Woo!
Guest.
There we go.
Free show, 6:30. All shows at 6:30. It's all the same thing. We got the next night, back-to-back, opening weekends, hanging out with your Star Wars high. You know, listen, you have May the 4th, then you go see a show at Old Mother on May 5th, and then you go see another show at Old Mother on May 6th. It's crazy.
Ooh.
And then we got High Noon Kahuna. They were just played on an episode with Hannah just a couple weeks ago. So
Perfect.
If you like that song, you can go check it out in person. It's them, Baltimore's Darlings, Dosser, and then a new band that has not played with us before, but they're called Gaspers. And then we have Emo Night. You can get your tickets now, dude. There's like a lot of tickets sold.
Did we do it? Did we do the pre-sale? Is it sold out yet?
It's close.
If you want to go to Emo Night, you actually need to buy a ticket ahead of time.
It's only $5. I think there's like $1.37 service charge. It's not that bad. And if you can't go, you can give the ticket away to somebody else, and it's only $5 if you you lose it. So it's
and
not
we
a
got
big deal.
confirmation that Pete Wentz is going to be there.
He's DJing, and he's actually only playing Good Charlotte's B-sides. It's going to be awesome.
Boy, he got a better gig than I did.
Yes, that's true. So anyway, Emo Night is Saturday, July 15th. You can get your tickets. It is going to be bands that are playing songs of your favorites, Fall Out Boy, Dashboard Confessional, Motion City Soundtrack, and Jimmy Eat World. It's going to be a cool time.
Best lineup yet.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think so too. All I want to hear
Dashboard's
is
out this summer. Did you see that?
I did.
Counting Crows.
Fall Out Boy's new record actually isn't trash. There's a couple cringe stuff on there, but for the most part, it's not Centuries. So I'm like, okay, I can.
Sounds like this podcast.
All right. Well, this song is not Centuries by Fall Out Boy, and it is by one of the bands that are playing this season at SkyStage, and it's called Howling at the Earth, and the song is called Creaking.
Okay, Logan.
Is this?
Those are the
working?
best snacks I've had in my life. Yes. You could. Hopefully you can see it, but yes. You want to eat the microphone,
3, 2,
of course. Yes,
1.
you got it. Thank you so much for coming on. How are you?
Doing well.
Doing well. How did you come across? How did you find these snacks? I know.
This has been a favorite of mine for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Just, but you kind of just experimenting, and you come across it. And I guess the traditional one has seaweed wrapped around, and I don't know if this particular one does. They're actually really difficult to find around here,
Wow.
and that's why it took a while to kind of
Well, we're honored because
figure out. But there's also actually the thing that I'm really excited about is peanut, which you can't do.
Thank you
But
for saving me.
it's peanuts with
hoping
they're
to see
wrapped
that.
in like a crunchy cracker. Basically, they're very So it's kind of related to this.
So crunchy inside crunchy.
Well, peanuts aren't necessarily crunchy; they're kind of softish. But so it's a crunchy
Sure,
and then a
sure.
soft and
Okay.
and then of course there's protein as well, so they're good for you.
Sure.
And not for you, obviously.
Not for me. Is there protein in this? Yeah, there's 2 grams. There's 7 grams in the whole container. That's not bad. Sorry, we can talk about snacks all day.
I'm going to eat those on the way to work tomorrow, too.
They're not going to make it home.
Well, I'm not going to make it home. I'm going to have to be.
Yeah, well, you got a long commute after here.
With your home.
So, yeah, it's true. Well, it's the studio.
It's
man.
the studio. It's the studio. So Logan, we've talked, we've known you for
decades
at this point. We pretty much went to grade school
Well,
together.
honestly, this is the first time we've actually
Is this
properly.
the first time I thought we've met before.
Well, I've done sound for your band like
Yeah.
3 times.
That's what, and we've talked.
But well, I mean, like,
Not
hey,
like this. Oh, that's how I am. By the way. Yeah.
Where can I put my kick drums?
Yeah.
do that and get out of my face.
Do you?
I mean, Chris the same way. I mean, that's how I kind of met
Yes.
Chris.
Yeah,
But Chris is opposite. He's the sycophantic. What can I get you?
I'm very
can I help
floaty.
you?
That's
Yeah.
why this podcast works.
And
I'm
actually,
the
that's.
meanie.
Can I just say this is a good time to dispel the myth, because I know that a lot of people say, "Oh, sound engineers, you're meant to be nice to your sound engineer, otherwise they're going to give you a bad sound." Well,
That's not true.
that's BS, because obviously I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for me. I want to make sure it's
Hey, that's true.
Good sound engineers want it to sound good,
That's
right?
correct. Exactly.
Even when you have a really
Bad
angry
band.
drummer that comes through and
Couldn't care less.
Or even like a really bad band.
or yeah.
Yeah, sometimes
or a bad band
sometimes
like
that's
any
the
of my
most.
bands.
Yeah, sometimes that's the most fun. You can
I
see.
actually like bad bands. They're actually they're kind of fun.
So how
Oh, I should, yeah.
how did you get connected with FAC? So just kind of bring.
Can
us...
I talk about the song if that's just?
Oh,
Oh,
no,
that's
no,
right.
no,
Yeah, please.
sure.
That
So-
was the first. Yeah, why you picked that song? But he picked all the songs for this. Why did we start with that?
Okay, well, this one I did pick, and I picked it first because I know actually it was your journalism which introduced me to it. So I read a interview that you had written, and I was like, oh, let me check this out. So I just did a little bit of searching, and I was I really liked him. He was really awesome. This is Wayne Snow, who you interviewed, and
I did. Yeah. He's a very nice guy. I think Chris knows him too. Do you know him?
A couple of bands ago, we played with his band. It was Fable Circuit, or it was called. They had a couple of different names. We played with them in Charlestown, West Virginia. And I think he's
from West Virginia.
Yeah, I think he's still in West Virginia. But then, I knew that Howling at the Earth is his new project. And I think he was supposed to come. Actually, Wayne, you were supposed to come play Old Mother, and you had other things to do. So we missed you, but you're welcome to come back
that's
anytime.
good.
But I think, but I mean,
Just save yourself.
close that circle though. That interview that you're talking about, we were talking about an open mic he runs, I believe, over in West Virginia. It's right across the state line. It's right next to Harper's Ferry. I don't really know the town it's officially in, but what's the name of it? The Carriage House, I think. Does that sound right?
Sounds close.
So he runs a very good open mic. He's a really, really talented guy. Really
I think what really struck me is the guitar work. He just has a really refreshing sound, and it's very percussive, and that's kind of what pulled me in.
And he's gonna hate it, but like one of his favorite bands for the longest time was Coheed, and it's like his older
Oh,
bands.
he said that.
Yeah,
He said that
yeah.
in the interview too.
Yeah.
He was a prog rock guy. That's what he said, at least. So, like, he's got like that mind for interesting, weird stuff, which I really enjoy, and I guess you enjoy too.
Yeah. And rhythmical and all that.
So he's coming to SkyStage when?
August 12th.
Is he coming by himself?
No, so that's what this whole Howling at the Earth thing is, because we were trying to book him basically as a solo artist. We just assumed, but we didn't know. We just assumed, because mainly a lot of the references I saw online were sort of just him playing on his own, possibly to do with the open mic or whatever. But but yeah, so he just says, if I'm coming, I want to bring a band. And we're like, yeah, fair, yeah, absolutely. So, and so that's when I kind of started digging through and trying to find different songs that they played. And it was hard to choose, actually. And I was like, up to the very last minute before sending it over, I was like, maybe it's this one. This one's kind of just a short and sweet. It's very, and it's got sort of nice sort of unusual time signatures and all that kind of thing. And yeah.
Is it just them for the show? Or is there a couple other bands?
No, there is, what else was it? Shit.
By the way, go check out Wayne Snow while we're looking this up.
Yeah, what was the article on? Or was it the?
I just talked to him. You don't remember this?
I do.
When it published, you texted me and you said
did.
you talked to him.
Yeah, and I said, "Wow, I love Wayne."
Okay,
So
so
he was supposed to play
very-
Old Mother.
So I did get the wrong date. It's July 1st.
It's close enough. July 1st. Wayne, don't show up on August 12th.
Exactly.
I would have
So
never remembered the August.
So it's Howling at the Earth,
Okay.
and a artist called Jacob Panic. Are you familiar?
Oh yeah, he also played Old Mother. He showed up.
You can't eat into the microphone. How unruly is this, man? This is the most special guest we've had all season, and you're just
He's our second guest who's brought us snacks this season. I'm just excited.
that is true. I forgot we did get we got what? Roses before and
We got flowers and cupcakes.
yeah. So
Ed Sheeran on banjo. That's my.
Ed Sheeran, by the way, who's in court now. Did you guys read about this? Because he apparently stole. Was it a McCartney song? I think a Beatles song.
Sure.
I don't know. There's something out there.
Isn't that like
Doesn't
kind
matter.
though? If you're British, like isn't that like
probably.
what you do? You should
Here,
steal
mate,
stuff from the Beatles.
Take this. Hello,
No,
mate.
that's the wrong one. That's Crocodile Dundee.
That's Australian. So Chris asked how you got involved with SkyStage. So let's go back to that. Like how did you end up? Because you do run sound for the shows. Do you run them for all the shows?
Yeah.
Do you like it?
It's hot and it is outside.
It
and,
is hot.
and there's
It's really,
there's no
really
roof.
hot.
So there are some things that are just implied. Where it's like, he's wearing jeans today. He may not wear jeans all the time, especially when it's really Maryland weather.
Well, we do have a little team, so if I do need to get away, then there's ways I can, there's other people who can take over. But but pretty much primarily, it's been sort of like, straight in there, labor of love. I absolutely loved it. I think I initially, when I first sort of walked in, I kind of was doing it voluntarily because I just absolutely love the space, and and then subsequently kind of learned more about the project, and I met Mara Parrott, and she was just so incredibly welcoming, and it just works so well. So the other thing that's really important about that venue, another kind of sound engineer type item, which is that it sounds phenomenally good, and the reason is because it doesn't have it. It's a 17th century building. 17? No, that would be 18th century. So it was 1770 or something, or 1760. It was built.
Okay.
Does that make it the 18th century? Yeah.
Sure. We'll go
So,
with that.
And
Check
so so it's rock stone walls.
Yeah.
So nothing is flat. So you have lots of jagged edge, not jagged, but just, which is great for sound because it absorbs it. It doesn't absorb, but it reflects, and doesn't reflect a direct pattern. It reflects, it disperses, and of course no roof, and the whole roof thing. Roofs are horrible. Roofs are one of the worst possible things you can have for an event, and that's why if you do go to an Earl's Court or a big venue. The roof is, 5 or 6 flights up, or the arena stage or whatever.
So I guess the question I need to know, and then we'll let it go. But like, what drew you to Frederick? Because Frederick's not. I mean, Frederick now.
Are you from here?
I'm not.
Okay.
No, I'm a New Yorker originally from New York State.
So where in New York State, if I can ask?
Dutchess County, which is just north of the city.
Oh, okay. So you're near the city.
70, 80 miles away.
Okay.
Country. It's it's farm country.
Sure.
How did you end up in Frederick, Maryland?
I guess okay. So my my mother and father split, and she was from the Annapolis area.
Oh, okay.
So that was kind of the connection with Maryland. So I used to come here when I was, sort of a 2-year-old, down to the Annapolis area. We'd always come in July, for 4th of July or for, and of course I always just assumed from that Maryland was just tropical and and it was basically Jamaica and
pretty much. And you weren't wrong. You weren't wrong about that.
Not in July, that's for sure. But what I didn't realize is it actually has 4 seasons and it snows and all the other things. So that was kind of crazy.
So then you got hooked on Maryland at that point. You were like, I want to be in Maryland.
Yeah, give me that Old Bay in my veins, Yeah.
Honestly, I did not. No, it was very late. Well, it was only just recently. I've only been here for, technically 5 years living here. But yeah, I did actually acquire properties. That's kind of the first reason I kind of had a connection with Frederick, and it was just kind of a great opportunity to invest, and I never kind of really never really thought that I would probably end up here. I was living in Europe actually for a long period of time, so when I would come back, my first thought was I would, was hoping to live in DC.
Sure.
But yeah, that's not. Yeah. Anyway.
yeah.
Things happen. Yeah. And I'm kind of glad because honestly, I had it in the back of my mind that this would be a great place to kind of. If all else fails, which is terrible. I don't want to say.
No.
Frederick is wonderful.
We're
it's a great place.
Yeah, it's all good. But I do want to ask you though, the sort of the counter of the implication of what you were going to there. It's like you wound up in Frederick. Here you are, and you do sound for SkyStage, which is the coolest venue in Frederick. It's so interesting.
Coolest outdoor venue in Frederick.
So I
the
guess
best
we're
outdoor venue in
contractually
Frederick.
obligated to say that, but. And you run sound for it, and you have a history, you have experience running sound and doing music stuff. How surprised were you coming into Frederick, and then you see these bands come through SkyStage, and you're working sound, or maybe even other places? Did the music scene kind of surprise you?
Yes.
How so?
You do not have to answer that.
No, how so though? Because
it's high
real.
quality. I was very impressed.
Yeah, it's good, right?
Yeah.
Like it's
There's
good
a lot
stuff.
of. I don't know what it is. It's the water or something.
It's a creek.
Yeah.
The creek. Do you reckon? Maybe I should, scoop.
Oh, please don't. No, we need you to stay alive and be healthy.
Give it a sample.
But it is interesting because it's like, I think for me, I'm in a room. So I'm a Frederick lifer, right? So like I grew up here and, I don't have any plans to leave. But it's interesting. I'm in a room with 2 other people that are pretty fundamentally and foundationally like impacting Frederick's music scene in one way or the other. And you both aren't from here. And so I think for me, that's kind of a cool thing for listeners or for viewers that are watching. It's like our folks that might be checking out Frederick or might be resistant to wanting to get involved. Is like, you don't have to be a Frederick person in order to be a part of this community. So I think it's special because you came from Pennsylvania, got really involved with the paper, got really involved with the local music scene, inspired me to do stuff. You're doing live sound, like, again, moving kind of up here, just kind of like, hey, I want to get involved. Like, that's really cool. So I just think that's really special. So tell us a little bit about these advertisement cards as well.
No, we should get into the first song.
Second song?
The second song, I guess.
Fine.
Right?
Is
Let's
the second
do it.
song on here?
Let's do it.
It's not. So
not.
So cue us up.
What was the second song you sent us?
So, okay.
I can't even pronounce. If I could pronounce it, I could.
It's
I'll do it.
Kamar Asani?
Is that how you pronounce
Kamyar.
it? Okay.
Kamyar.
Arsani.
How did you come to this?
So Kamyar, contacted us through our website, which is skystagefrederick.com, and there's a contact link.
Mm-hmm.
Click on there, and there's an email address, or there's even a form you can fill out. But so he did contact us, and what he was contacting us about was a band called Time is Fire. And this is his band that's based in DC.
Okay.
And highly respected, critically acclaimed sort of band that was, I think he played the Kennedy Center and
wow.
the was it called? The Library of Congress, I think.
Yeah.
Georgetown. And so, but I think what really caught myself and Mara's eye was the way he described it. He described it as Sufi punk. and we were, so, and then this band was awesome. Just really high energy, really in your face, incredibly well played.
Did they come up and play? Where did you see them?
Well, again, we just got them through the contact page.
Okay.
Whatever I saw was just things that I would,
like YouTube clips and stuff like that. Okay.
And
So
whatever he was sending over.
So you and or Maura actually went through and listened to people that submit stuff.
Correct.
How amazing is that? You know, there are so many people who actually don't do that. That's like, it's an honest process. It's an honest process. Like, you actually listen to the bands, which I really think people should know.
Yes.
If you're in a band and you want to play SkyStage, he'll listen to you, right? Like, you'll check it out.
Yeah.
Somebody will check it out. May not be Logan specific, but somebody will. Yeah.
And I mean, I'll just say again, full credit to Mara Parrott, because the way she's doing, and full credit to Frederick Arts Council, who support this project, which is exactly what it is. SkyStage was an art project. It's basically a public a piece of public art by artist Heather Clark, who came up with the concept and built it and got funding to do what it was, and then basically just said to the community, "This is yours to do what you will." So it really was a ethereal project, which didn't really have any.
I want to talk about that when we get back from this,
Okay.
because I have a couple questions about it. Because SkyStage, I think SkyStage is the most important thing in Frederick. I really do, and I'm going to ask you a few questions about that when we get back. But if you want to set it up again, because I cannot pronounce it.
Okay. I'll say his name is Kemi Arsani, and this is a solo project that he's now doing. Because I should finish. Sorry to say that his band. He basically we contacted him and said, yes, we'd very, very much like you to play. He came back and he said, listen, that's no longer happening. We're no longer doing Time is Fire. I think post-COVID, things, entropy happened and they started moving away. So we listened to his solo stuff, and I was, thinking, okay, well, how do we fit this in? It's very different. It's very sort of, avant-garde. It's experimental. But when I was listening, I was hearing sort of a David Bowie, a theatrical phase, that type of thing happening in his voice, and also kind of a Pet Sounds experimental Brian Wilson thing going on, and I just loved it, and so we're going to be putting him together with a bill, and kind of a world music based. He's basically, I should point out, is also Iranian born.
Okay.
So he is a scholar of Middle Eastern percussive instruments and string instruments. So he's a multi-instrumentalist who comes up with really cool, fun stuff.
So this song is called Thrive Drive.
World, you are cruel. Earth is so beautiful now, burning in a volcano. All of solitude, distance between love and hate, breathing all the dust. As the sun shines bright, so dies the fire of the guns. No water within, dry as humor of mankind, nature playing jokes on me now. Stars all alone today, where can I find you now? We walk under a spell. Stars all alone today, where can I find you now? We walk under a spell. Stars all alone today, where can I find you now? We walk under a spell. Stars all alone today, where can I find you now? We walk under a spell. start your violation. I heard the devil today. He said another farewell. He said, I am still eating you. Shepherd raised his hand, disconnecting himself from trauma of past lives on. It bleeds through. Stars align today. Where can I find you now? We walk over a spell. Stars align today. Where can I find you now? Walk over a spell. Today, where can I find you now? We walk under a spell. We walk on today. Stars are around today. Where can I find you now? We walk under a spell.
That is a beautiful song, and I'm excited to see them play at SkyStage on August 12th. Right, Logan?
Well, I'm gonna expose you because you didn't even hear the song.
Oh, I listened. So you sent these.
We sit here in silence, laughing at this.
You
very
sent these
pensive,
tracks in
wonderful
earlier.
Song.
You sent
Right.
these. You sent these tracks in 24 hours ago, and I listened to every single song.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
It was
And
beautiful.
don't believe him. He's lying to you.
Guys, this is show business.
See, I'm too gullible.
So August 12th. That's when-
August
that-
12th. That's when you can
Correct.
find this band at SkyStage, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And you're building the bill right now.
We are building this bill. It's still not confirmed completely.
So then, if you like this song and your band sounds like it might jive, or you want to be a part of this, go to skystagefrederick.com and tell them you want to play the show.
He said jive.
Is that wrong?
Yeah. For that song. There's no jiving.
Well, I mean, you can vibe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say jive.
This
vibe.
is the first guest we've ever had on that calls Chris out.
That's not
and
true.
I love it.
That is
I
not true.
absolutely love it.
I do know that you love it, but it's not true.
I absolutely love it. So before we went into the song, I said I had a couple questions I wanted to ask you about because SkyStage, that's a good idea. SkyStage sort of appeared. Like this was a project that all of a sudden out of nowhere, and everybody, at least in my knowledge at that time, this was when I was doing shows at the old Frederick News Post building at 200 East Patrick Street. And
Which is right there on South Carroll.
yeah,
so
it's
it's
right there.
same neighborhood.
And then all of a sudden, like, we do like the series of shows. It was like 3 or 4 shows. They were really great. Then all of a sudden, the Arts Council's like, we got this thing. And they put on shows right away. They put on a lot of, it was so cool because everybody was wondering what was going to happen with that corner property, with all of that stuff there. Were you on board then when it was decided, hey, we're going to start this right away? Were you there from ground zero?
No, I wasn't. Jake Warrenfield, I think, was involved initially. So that was Artomatic, I believe. And this is all kind of before my time, so I'm only just parroting what I heard. But and I know Jake. I've met him. He's awesome.
Yeah.
So I think so a lot of them. You're right. I think it was kind of like, hey, let's just, hey, we have a venue. Let's do stuff. So it was very organic, and I think it just built really quickly, and a lot of people that were really inspired by the space.
Right. And that's what's so interesting to me, because now we are here. Did you say 5 years now? Is this the 5th summer?
I've been there 5 years. It was been going for 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's still going, and it's growing, and it's becoming more and more fruitful in all of those things. Like it
books
laugh.
itself now. At
It
this point.
does. Like
Yeah.
I'm sure you get tons of emails from bands who are like, "Can we please play there?" Right?
That's what we want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how cool was it then when you walked in? Like, did somebody say, "Hey, we need a sound guy, come through"? What do you think about this? Like, what process for you individually? Then you walk in, you got to be like, "Oh my goodness," right?
I I have lots of, stories where you walk in and think this is the perfect thing, and it all goes wrong, and people just like, you tell you get lost. And this was kind of the exact opposite. Basically, I walked in and it was a day of cleaning that we all organize every April because of winter time.
Right. And everybody should help. That's a volunteer thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Right.
Everybody should do that.
That's right. And but it's already done now.
Yeah, I know, yeah. By the time this comes out, yeah.
Yeah. And so that's exactly what happened. I volunteered to help clean up, and that's kind of how it started. And it was hilarious because it was one of those things where I said, hey, I'm a sound engineer. I'd really like to get involved. And they're like, oh, man, we need a sound engineer really bad. So it was like, oh, okay, well, that works out. So there was no special story. It just happened very sort of perfectly.
But you also have to know, like, it's not even just local to Frederick. You can go to Washington, D.C., you can go to any place around here and not find a space like that. And at that moment, like, did you or have you since fallen in love with it? Like, have you been like, oh my goodness, this is it. This is so cool.
From the first day,
yeah.
Fell in love with the space, fell in love with, just how it was put together. And, and you're right. It has garnered a fair amount of attention. They have, there's been articles written about it nationally.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it just looks wonderful. Again, Heather Clark, she did an amazing job with this concept. And I guess so. Heather Clark is a alumni of MIT, so MIT was involved in. So it was actually all done on, all designed with, in a computer. Mm-hmm. And so I guess that basically what they did is plotted the building. Mm-hmm. So, and again, the building was a victim of a fire in 2010. So this was an empty building that had, I also just wanted to quickly talk about the owners. Genico Engineering it's Rusty Hauer, who's the owner, and he has absolutely been wonderful to us. And he's our landlord, owns the property, and the fact that Heather sort of, approached him and said, hey, listen, I have this crazy concept that, I'm going to do this bizarre thing in your space. And he was like, sure, why not? And he's been incredibly supportive since. And the project really, in terms of what Heather was thinking, shouldn't have lasted more than, a year or two. I think 18 months was
That's why I opened this part of the discussion about that, because when we were at 200 East, there was an expiration date putting shows on in that empty warehouse. It was like, well, the city is going to build a hotel here. They still haven't. Here we are 6 years later, but they still haven't. And they said, well, hey, if you want to have some fun for a year maybe and throw some music in there and some art, go ahead and do it. And we did, and we had a great time. And I feel like SkyStage has surpassed all of that, where now it's like, it's an actual venue. If somebody comes along and tries to mess with it, people are going to be mad. Like, it's a real honest
That's
venue.
our hope.
Yeah. So I very much applaud the fact that you and the Arts Council and everybody involved is stuck with it, and it's worked. And it is a destination place to play. It's not just people in Frederick. Chris, you can speak to this. There are people from DC, from states away, who want to play that stage. And you got to feel good about that, right?
Awesome. No, I mean, it actually, it does unfortunately turn out to be a little bit on the sort of frustrating side, because we're outdoors, and we've had people come down from New York, and it's rained, and it's like, oh man, this is just nuts. And we're kind of like, on the weather apps all morning, sort of like, should we not, and can we cancel, can we not? So in a lot of ways, we tend to kind of unfortunately shy away from doing too many sort of travel, large traveling acts.
You can't, because the people who are touring nationally, they got one date to come through. Exactly. There's no rain date for them. You know what I mean? Like, so they're coming here for that, and that's that. But speaking of those people, can we get in to the schedule now a little bit, and who can we talk about? Give us some of the absolute best shows that will happen in Frederick, Maryland this summer at SkyStage. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I can start by the last track we're going to play, hopefully.
We will.
Which is a band called Eat the Cake.
Okay.
They are Baltimore-based.
Mm-hmm.
This is okay, and this is, by the way, the reason I'm also bringing this up is this is our opening night. So May 6th.
This is really close.
So this is
our opening night.
Next week.
By the time this comes out, it'll be next week.
Saturday, is it?
Yes.
Okay,
Saturday
first
night.
Saturday in May. There you
Exactly. And so Eat the Cake again came to us through the forum, and super high energy, and we thought perfect for sort of our opening night, just to get things started, get the blood flowing as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So we booked them almost immediately. Kind of a, let's just say, thrash, hip hop, R&B mash, and
that's a lot of genres.
Yeah, exactly. But it's an old girl band.
Oh,
although
great.
I should say it started as an old girl band, they've evolved into other genders.
Sure.
And I assume male, but yeah, they have a male drummer, I think. But what I think is so special about them is they have just got killer harmonies, just great voices with lots of swelling, and I was sort of my comparison would be someone like Karen Wheeler, really fabulous harmonies with layers and layers.
Yeah.
So so we're very excited to have them, and then Soul Meets Body with Genevieve.
Friend of the show,
Most
friend of the
definitely,
Could Be
friend.
Better.
We miss you, Genevieve.
Yeah,
right?
we do. Yeah, the podcast is not the same without you.
So a fantastic evening, that's.
It's just
Well, look
those
at
two
that.
bands.
Y-
That's
so far,
great.
yeah.
Hear that pun? Hear that pun? He said fantastic.
fantastic.
Yeah, I heard it.
Love
I heard
that.
And there's
Absolutely
subtitles.
love that.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome. And then it's like we're just looking at this rat card here. Like, there's tons of cool things. I'm not gonna read them all, but there's a jazz festival. There's a drum circle first Fridays. There's a literature poetry night. There's a theater night. There's a yoga of all levels. So it's like even Logan, you and I can do it. There's a SkyStage swing dance night where even Colin can do it. There's a social dance. Would you go to a social dance with me?
Never. I wouldn't
either.
I don't dance. I
But
don't
you
know
should
how
go
to
because it'll be
dance.
fun. But where Colin and I will go is on the third Wednesdays of every month at 7 to 10. It's salsa with a brief lesson and go.
They can teach me how to dance, right? You can
Yeah.
learn how to dance at those salsa nights. Which, by the way, I've heard from, a lot of people in town that those salsa nights
Hot.
are very well attended.
Spicy.
Yeah.
Yes, they're hot.
They're bumping. And then we have, I think, honestly, Logan's personal favorite is the improv audience participation nights on third Fridays, just starting. Oh, it's just the end of the year. That's cool. So August, September, October. So it's tons of cool stuff. So there's lots of cool things that are happening. So again, you'll see these all around businesses in Frederick. Probably not quite yet because we are the first people to see these. But the rest of the world will be able to see them here soon. But Logan, is there any other shows you want to talk about for this season?
I mean, sure, I could.
You got to be. Yeah, let's hear it.
Give us like 3.5 more.
3.5 more. Well, we do seem to have a bunch of interesting reggae acts, which I know you're big on.
Do you need an opener?
Double or Nothing
Do you need
didn't
an
get
opener?
a phone call, so I'm pretty upset about that. We'll talk about that.
It's
on
because
air.
you don't go through your emails and listen to
That's
all your forums.
probably true.
Yeah.
But you have reggae acts. Who's coming in?
Do you know a band called Shaman? The Shamans of Sound.
No, who's that?
I believe DC based. Yeah, they're a big time sort of dub. Reggae.
Do they need an opener?
Possibly.
Yeah, they're from DC. Their bio says they're all veterans of the Washington D.C. music scene, but their diversity is their strength as they bring in a variety of experiences and influences to the table, ranging from roots and dub to hip hop, R&B, soul funk, and dance hall. But it's their shared
perfect.
love of reggae, which brings everyone together. Look at that unity.
Hey, if you need an opener, give us a call.
Yeah, couldbebetter.com.
Yeah. So,
So
who
we-
else? Yeah, you said you had more reggae. I'm sorry
Yeah.
to cut you off there.
Yeah, because I want to obviously get to as many as I can here, but so you know Mr. Husband,
Oh,
Kenny.
yeah.
Just played
Oh,
last
man.
Saturday. Colin, didn't you have a great time at that show?
I couldn't get. So my birthday was last week, and this was the show I wanted to see. I really wanted to see Mr. Husband, but I had to be out of town. My mom was giving me the business. She's still giving me the business. She was angry. She's still angry. Even though I drove 5.5 hours to see her, She's still angry.
Very angry.
So I'm coming to this show. What
Okay,
date is
good.
this? What date is the Mr. Husband show?
June 10.
June
Which
10.
is again a Saturday.
Check that out. Who's Mr. Husband with?
Okay, so this is something we actually said to Kenny. Hey, listen, have you got any good suggestions? He came up with Jordan from Roswell Kid is going to do a solo act.
Look at that.
Friend of the
Why does he know
Nation.
Jordan doesn't answer our
No,
messages?
he answers all of our emails, actually. He just says no a lot.
But the good thing is he always wants to play SkyStage.
Hey,
That's true.
That's
That's true.
perfect. That's
Fingers
perfect.
fingers crossed for no
time,
rain.
and to be honest, it was through Kenny, so we have no actual connection. But
That'll be so. It's just those two that night, right?
so far,
That's going to be an amazing
show.
show.
As time goes on, we may add this or that, but we tend to try to keep them down to those two. Seems to be fairly a good.
That'll be incredible.
It does. I think you have too many, it gets too confusing. And generally speaking, we do have a third. We will just do like a little, singer-songwriter.
Quick opener.
Something.
That's go to that show. That show's going to sell out. I'm telling you right now, especially with Jordan there. I mean,
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll buy like 20 tickets just myself,
we're going to give them away on this podcast. What else do you think?
So you did mention the Frederick Jazz Fest.
Yes.
And that's
Yeah, I've heard from those guys recently. Yeah, who do they know who they have coming in this year, artist wise?
We know what we have because they're basically doing 3 venues in one day, 3, and then
they are ambitious. Those guys are ambitious. Love you.
And of course, what happens if it rains? Then we
we
get to go to the other concerts. So that's the good thing.
Are they all in town?
Yes.
Wow.
So it's
So much jazz. So
some
little
of
time.
Frederick Jazz Fest.
yeah.
So where are the other venues?
So that's going to be 10th Ward, New Spire, and actually the next day on the Sunday they're doing there's a band a jazz band at Baker Park that's going to be part of it, but it's sort of associated with Frederick downtown Frederick Partridge.
Do you know who's going to be at SkyStage for that?
Yes, that's Dominique Bianco is a favorite. She's been there.
Very good.
Yeah, she's been there before, and Graham Breedlove, who I've never worked with yet, but
Maybe he
is
builds.
a trumpetist.
Oh, okay. I was going to say maybe he builds the Breedlove guitars, but I think not.
I've heard that every Jazz Fest SkyStage show has been packed in. Like you've gotten a lot of people for that.
It's been great, and I think it's the quality of the bands.
They're so
and
good.
It's again, Kenny and John have really out. Yeah, they just blew my mind.
It's really. I have to really say, if you can only support one thing this summer, support the Frederick Jazz Fest. Those guys are going at it. Is this the 5th year, 4th year? Do you guys know? Do you know?
I don't know.
Did you say the 50th or 4th year?
50th or 4th.
Yeah, I was like,
there's a lot of.
I'm confused. I'm like, wow, we got there.
And just to say, that's the 24th of June.
Okay,
And that's
24th
one
of June.
day that they're having.
Okay.
And then the 25th, which is
And so, Logan, bring us in with one more show, and then we'll get to our last segment.
Man,
Yeah, there's so much.
So we've gone through 2 shows in June.
what do you want me to hear? What do you want to hear?
Tell us something in August where it's like really hot and miserable, but then we can be pleasantly entertained with something.
Party?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Well, August 19 is something Mara's put together because as a kind of celebration for her, she'll hate me saying this, but her husband Jack loves surfer rock.
Sure.
So
The Atomic Mosquitoes.
this is okay. Let me hold off. Give me a second. So this is a band that I think this is a New York band that she has dragged in, and I think kicking and screaming because she saw them. I guess she and her husband went to go see them at NOLA. They were playing NOLA, last year, the year before.
Cafe Nola or New Orleans?
So let me tell you what the band name is. Otherwise,
He didn't even acknowledge it.
I know.
so they're called the Coffin Daggers from New York.
Okay.
And they're hard rock and surf rock band.
Sweet.
Really awesome.
And then for Jack.
And again, yes, for Jack. And also the Atomic Mosquitoes are on the
They
same
are
bill.
opening.
They are
Okay,
on the
there
same
you
Nice.
go.
They're good friends. And I think that's really why they were coming, is because we said, hey, listen, it's going to be with Atomic Mosquitoes. And they were like, sure, we're there. So it's going to be nuts.
Yeah. And
So-
have you seen the Atomic
And I'm sorry,
Mosquitoes?
there's one more band on that.
Oh, go ahead.
I have. Yeah, we've had them on SkyStage
They're good.
several times. And it's
They're-
always
they've been in our email.
Oh, they want. Hey, we're reaching out to you, Atomic Mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Who's the third band on that
Third
show?
band's called Luau Cinders. They're Bethesda-based again.
Or they're not called the Muhammad Alis.
Bethesda base. Is that like
So
the
Luau
Housewives band?
Oh, that was
sort of-
Kareem. No?
Hmm?
What am I missing? I'm missing Luau. Who was Luau? Oh, God.
Luau is what you do in Hawaii. You have a
Oh,
luau.
like a.
And the cinders, I guess, are from the fire. So it's your
So
luau
luau
cinders.
cinder.
So it's dance rocks,
So
buddy.
It's
I need to
standing around on the beach.
No. I get it. It's
West
a play on
Coast
words.
beach.
Luau Cinder, though. No? It doesn't
that a
ring a
person?
bell? Yeah, that's what I'm
Okay.
saying. Okay, I'm going to look that up.
Okay.
Give us one more
Maybe
show
there's
then.
no-
while I look
Oh,
that
doesn't
up.
Colin,
know.
you're thinking of Lou Alcindor, Alcindor, and that's Kareem Abdul.
Kareem.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah,
it is
yeah.
Kareem. I
Yeah.
said Muhammad Ali. That's
Yeah, no, I mean,
Cassius Clay. Man.
to be fair, I do get confused with Muhammad Ali and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Okay, I really messed up everybody. Give us another show.
Okay, well, is this the last one?
This
Yeah.
is the last
The
one.
last one.
So this is a show on September 9th. Could be better people. I don't know a lot about them.
Oh boy.
Well, we
Who
can't
would
announce
ever
that. We
wanna
can't.
do that?
We can't. Yeah, we can't announce that one yet. That was
Oh, you can't?
Oh, definitely not.
So it's gonna be Luau Cinder,
Yeah, Kareem Abdul.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
And then Muhammad Ali,
Can't take our
a
bands.
hologram is going to come up, and it's going to be awesome. Colin's going to get beat up by a hologram. I'll pay $20 for that.
Well, we are doing.
We are doing a Could Be Better night.
Yeah, right. And that's the second annual. We did one last year where
And it was a
we
blast.
got up there.
And it was a blast. And I will say, I think we can say that there will be a repeat face.
We're not playing again.
No, I'm not playing
we're
again.
not
No,
playing
no,
music
no,
again.
no.
We were
Ever.
so bad. You ran sound. You saw how bad
It was
we
awful.
were.
Yeah, but we'll get up and talk
I
for a
think I
little bit.
blanked it out.
Yeah, we did too.
So,
So go ahead.
well, with all of that said, this coming up, this is a very technical question, which is not a good question to wind
end
down
with.
with, but are you going to be there running sound for like everything? Or do you get like,
Tell us which show you're not going to be there for this year. Do you know?
I'm going to be there for all of them.
Wow. Look at
Are
that.
you excited?
I mean, it's an easy gig. If I only have to work on a Saturday, come on, that's really awesome.
Hey, that's not
true.
TV. That's
So-
But is there a position that SkyStage is in where you feel like you have to take X amount of steps forward? Do you know what I mean? Like people they're getting restless, or maybe the Arts Council. I have no idea how the machinations of any of this works, but is there an expectation or a goal to meet going into this year?
No, just no. We do it again. Labor of love. We just do it because we want to make it better. And I think actually this is something that I gleaned from something. I guess I was watching one of the previous podcasts with Roy.
Oh
Roy
yeah,
Gibb.
yeah.
Shout out
And
to Roy
I
Gibb.
guess there was a certain part of the discussion regarding scene building.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how to build a scene.
Mm-hmm.
And that's I mean that's sort of close to my heart. I've been that's something that's always sort of intrigued me and occupied my thoughts, is how to build a scene. And the way you build a scene is I think it's about it's about having relationships, good relationships, and just creating an amazing vibe. And actually, this reminds me of what I was gonna bring up earlier.
Thank you.
What I did bring up earlier, which, and that is something again that I was discussing with Mara, something that I feel passionate about, which is, if you are an artist, you're a musician that has played at SkyStage, you've been involved in SkyStage, and you see, you're looking at some of the other events that are coming up this year, and thinking to yourself, well, it costs a bit of money to go in. I don't have, money this particular week, and especially if you want to see 5 or 6 shows, all of a sudden that money builds up. So we are sort of wanting to provide what is it?
A fund.
No.
Well, a break, a sort of you're giving a discount, correct?
Right. We would like to offer to any musician, past, present, that's been involved in SkyStage, and again, I can even say not just musical artists, but other artists. We do, theater, literature nights and all sorts of stuff. Please come in. We want to be. We want you to be part of our community.
Come consume the art, right? Like
Correct.
take in the art. like you'll work with whoever anybody wants to come in, right? Like that's
I want there to be a synergy between if you're a band that has played at SkyStage once and you hear about a new band that's playing this year, and you're kind of interested in seeing it, but feeling is, please come, please write us, and we can give you blanket discounts for any kind of shows you want to come to. We want to make it a community. We want to make it welcoming, especially to artists, because it's meant to be for the arts, to promote arts in Frederick. And
but if I go to Salsa Night, do I get a discount on tickets?
2 other concerts.
Yes. Okay. So if you play a concert, then you get discounts for other concerts. Yes. That's the rite of passage.
The reality is, though, is I feel, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like this is a function of saying there is so much good art in Frederick, and the objective is to not force people out, or to use another term, price people out. There is so much good art, and you guys have it at SkyStage, and you want to make sure that's available for anybody who actually wants to see it, to go see it and grow this arts community. Is that
correct? And also, it's also because I've been on that other end, and sometimes it's just principle. Oh God, I don't want to pay for this. I'm here. We'll give you half price, whatever you want.
Sure. Yeah.
Come on in because we want you to be there. And unfortunately, there are shows that do sell out, and we can't. But the other cool thing is we have this wonderful patio where the bar is, and you can kind of just sit and listen. I mean, it's open air. You can't. We can't stop. We can't stop the music from escaping.
It's the coolest thing, man. It's the coolest thing in Frederick. It really is. And you guys, like, doing this, opening it up in that way is so cool. It like, honestly, this is the most art supportive person in the history of Frederick, Maryland, right here. He's sitting
second to Mara. Let's be real. Mara has built those trenches, and she's incredible. So, all right. So Logan,
shout out to Mara.
Shout out to Mara. She's the best. So, everything that we're talking about tonight, everything that's on these rack cards, everything that you're interested about is all on skystagefrederick.com. You can check out the website. You can check out the calendar. You can check out all the things. It's all there. And this is our last plug. Is we typically partner with only reputable businesses like Texas Roadhouse, like Old Mother Beer, like
we need a happy sponsorship.
Happy sponsors now. I know they're going to get a very nice email from us later. But SkyStage is truly one of the gems of Frederick, and the fact that you all have such a heart for the community of wanting to do things the right way, building those relationships and building a scene is super important for us, is super important for music here. So we're grateful that you play a part in it, and we're grateful that you allow us to play a part in it by having you on the show, and then giving us a night. We'll see if you give us 3 nights in a row, 3 years in a row. but we'll take 2.
I don't think he said what he meant to say.
We'll take 2 for now. Now, this is
give him an inch, right?
This is this is now we're gonna get into our final segment here, because this is our longest episode of the season, I think. This is our specialty segment where we give a rapid fire 5 questions to our guests. So Logan, are you ready for the hot seat?
You have to answer in 5
No.
words.
You just have to answer quickly. You just can't take forever to think about it. You want to start? Is the bumper playing?
No, you go.
I mean, I'm good with yes and no.
The bumper is playing.
Bumper is playing. Okay, so here we go. So I have my first question for you. If money and resources aren't a factor, what would you want SkyStage to have?
Ooh.
It's a blank check, and there's people that are wanting to do whatever it is that you say that needs to be done. What would you want? And bathrooms and a retractable roof cannot be the answers.
Oh, because that's kind of where my mind was going. But and there's also that sort of space in the back, which is kind of nice.
Yes.
But I mean, there's things. But again, SkyStage was not really meant to kind of to be more than it really is. And it wasn't my vision; it was their vision.
Sure.
And we're just making the best.
Sure. So if you had to add something, it would be nothing.
I would say an elevator.
An elevator.
Okay. Sure.
Why not?
Wait a second, though. I just want to take... This might be the best quote in the history of these podcasts. You said, SkyStage was never meant to be more than anything that it is.
Did I say that?
You're
pretty
right.
good.
That sounds like a...
that is very good. I love that. So I got a quick question. What's your favorite band?
Well, I would just say Radiohead is probably one of my favorite bands.
Okay. Well, then, since Chris got to ask 20,000 follow-ups, do you have a favorite record?
You're the worst.
Of Radiohead?
Yeah, OK Computer. It's got to be OK Computer.
Yeah.
Kid A?
Yeah.
Those are two yes. Which one is which?
I have like a collection. They're all like jumbled up on one. So one's called Pablo something or
Oh, yeah, Pablo Honey.
is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't necessarily know the names of the
Do you have a favorite song then?
Ooh, no, not necessarily. But
Favorite song is tough.
I ain't happy.
Oh, no.
You're a...
So, okay, keeping SkyStage the theme, what's a bucket list band at SkyStage that you would love?
Not Radiohead.
Not Radiohead. Like a band that like that's not Radiohead that you could say, hey, I want them to play, and they're going to play 2024 for the 3rd annual Could Be Better Night.
I mean, so I'm sorry. So this is
So-
any band in the world?
Yeah,
Any band in the
your bucket
world.
list.
You can get Wings.
God, I love Wings.
Band on the run.
Okay, maybe I should come up with something quick before.
Oh no,
Before I
yeah.
keep
We'll
singing.
riff all day.
Yeah,
that's the
that's
problem,
it. Don't
But
leave
yeah,
me.
Elvis Costello.
Oh!
dude. Would that be
Look
sick?
at that hoodie. I got a hoodie right there. That's his face.
How
on the
much
back
would
of
you
that
pay?
hoodie.
Okay.
Hey, question. How much would you, Colin McGuire, pay to see Elvis Costello at SkyStage for one ticket? How much would you pay? So-
I'd pay a lot more than I've paid before to see
No,
him. I'll tell you that.
But give me a number.
I'll pay.
Oh,
$400.
I'd probably go 5.
See,
if
this
you
is
got
wrong. This is wrong. You're not supposed to see numbers. Those
well,
numbers don't
$500
don't mean anything.
you just this is the fourth
it's going to
question.
be a free gig.
Okay, and he would do that. I really believe
'Cause,
that.
like, everybody could be hanging around the outside.
There's I don't think the camera ever picks this up, but the
don't.
only person to ever spell my name correctly was Elvis Costello. When I met him, I had him sign this newspaper
COL?
that's framed. No, COL. Everybody always does it with 2 L's.
They're the worst.
So, anyway,
This is question 4.
this is question 4. I have to ask you this,
All right.
and what your favorite Elvis Costello album?
And then we can. And that's
No,
it.
I got one more.
Well,
I
he's got
I
one more,
more,
but
and then we'll be
I will
done.
preface this also by saying mine is Get Happy. I think Get Happy is one of the best albums ever recorded. So, if you don't say Get Happy, we're done.
Right.
That's-
Yeah. Good question.
See, I know it's hard. Like Armed Forces,
What's-
you could do.
What's the blue one?
Well, Almost Blue. There is Almost
Yeah.
Blue. Yeah,
That's one I like.
that's like his country album.
Yeah, there was one called very close to that called was it Waking Up in America or something like that?
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
Is that there's no
Wake
My
Me
Aim
Up?
is True? Yeah, Wake Me Up. My Aim is True. Armed Forces. This year's Model. Any of them?
So that's more earlier stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
I really liked his transition into the, well, before the transition to a full transition into country. But yeah,
did
because
you
he
like
did the whole Nashville thing.
in the bluegrass stuff he did with Lauderdale and they did one. Are you
See,
going?
I knew I
that
should have
deep?
picked another artist.
Okay.
He knows too much.
We'll skip it. Yeah,
but it
it's
does
fine.
suck when
That's
it's like
fine.
you like. It's like you're literally asking somebody who's like, "Oh yeah, like tell me what your favorite thing." Let me tell you about like all these like these
No,
ways.
no,
Like,
that's
let
why
me
I'm
get
getting
into
off it. I'm
I
getting
know,
off
I
it.
know,
Chris
I know.
has the
All right,
last question.
The
Here you
final,
We'll talk about that after.
we will.
Yeah, yeah,
We'll
yeah.
off
So
air,
the final
yeah.
question
So
before we
I'm
get
always
into
interested in
before we get into the
finding out
song here from Eat the Cake. So Logan, when you're running sound, it's hot. It is humid and it's awful. For people that are listening to this podcast and people that are coming to these SkyStage shows and they're happy to see you and they go, "Oh, I know that sound of that voice. I've heard him on my favorite podcast." What would you want people to bring you to these shows to say, "Hey, Logan, I appreciate you," and if you get like a little gift. So we have 2 other podcasts on our podcast network, and we have and our other hosts. I asked them the same question: is like, if people like your podcast, what would you like? And so Kiki from the Weekly with Kiki, she likes fuzzy socks, and so fans have sent her fuzzy socks actually. And then for Nicole Ringle and her partner Spencer's podcast, This Is Not My Magnum Opus, they like Spindrift seltzer waters, and so those are their favorite things. So people have also sent them some seltzer water. So if someone's going to bring you something to SkyStage,
I like T-shirts.
like T-shirts.
Yeah. Apparently, you gave me one. I don't know what's in
I
there.
did, and you wear a size
Uh,
medium.
yeah.
Medium. So for folks that like bring your own T-shirts that you don't
Band
like anymore.
T-shirts.
Yeah, bring band
Band
T-shirts.
t-shirts. I love. I don't have enough band T-shirts.
There we go. So Logan, thank you so much for coming on.
Sure.
We're going to be able to talk. So all of these links and all of these things will all be in our show notes. You can find everything on skystagefrederick.com. This has been the man, the myth, the sound engineer from SkyStage, Logan Waters, and we're gonna play this last song. But Colin, you have one more thing.
We only have a few more episodes left in this season. You are pretty much a season finale-ish. Because you were the most important person in the history of Frederick. Including Francis Scott Key. So,
of course.
There's all ish. I mean, as long as you say
there is Francis.
Yeah.
Go to SkyStage, right?
Yeah.
Go to SkyStage this summer. Please do that, right, Logan?
Sure.
Let's do it.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
All right, here we
So
go.
next song.
So this is a song called "Liquefy" by Eat the Cake, and they're playing on
May 6th.
May 6th. It's their opening weekend. Come
Opening
party
night.
with Soul Meets Body. Let's get
Big
turned.
party.
If I could liquefy the music, I'd drink until I'm drunk, drink until I thunk thinking to the funk. I'd intensify the ghetto fight and smoke it till we high. I'd smoke until we high. I'd smoke until we high. If I could liquefy the music, I'd drink until I'm drunk, drink until I thunk, thinking to the phone. I'd intensify the ghetto fight and smoke until we high. I'd smoke until we high. I'd smoke until we circadian rhythm rubbing hard through the vessel steady. Levitating, petrified with the struggle like you locked in the box. I can't move, but the muscle, all the tension built up needs to be released. Whether you inhale a tree, sipping on ginseng, intoxicating toxins rooted in your bloodstream. Sporadically liberated, feeling like you're gon' scream. Yeah, I'm feeling like you're gon' scream. Yeah, I'm feeling like you're gon' scream. Yeah, I'm feeling like you're gon' scream. Yeah. Liquefy the music. I drink until I'm drunk, drink until I thunk, thinking to the phone. I'd intensify the ghetto fight and smoke until we high. I'd smoke until we high. I'd smoke until we emerge as the walls get wetter. A ceiling's leakage result of bad weather. Careless thoughts fly high like a fleet or bird feathers. If you stop the bebop, that makes you a go-getter. Too hot to be hot. Legally remove the sweater. Green funk in the air. You follow it downstairs. To a place most people are unaware. Floating on purple clouds, losing glares in my ears. Succumb to the pressure of my iridescent peers. Black lights light up the place. Illuminate my fears. Astronaut in space, the final frontier. Put my shit in third gear. Travel by light years. Captain of my spaceship. I dare not to adhere. Matter interferes, I start to disappear. Waking up the next morning, hanging from a chandelier. Yeah, I'm hanging from a chandelier. Yeah, I'm hanging from a chandelier. Yeah, I'm hanging from a chandelier. I liquefy the music. I drink until I'm drunk, drink until I thunk.
Better podcast is allegedly heard in 25 different countries around the world, and definitely still not recorded in a bedroom.
Yeah, okay. Still, check out our worldwide website, www.couldbebettermeh.com, for links to our social media and our fancy brand new revamped YouTube channel that now has actual video.
And if you don't like what you see, well, neither do we. But if you want to hear from smarter, better, more educated and cultured people, please check out the new podcasts. This is Not My Magnum Opus and The Weekly with Kiki on our brand new Could Be Better podcast network. And don't hesitate to leave us or them, actually, probably just them, a 5-star review wherever you listen to podcasts. Now, Chris, did I miss anything?
Yeah, man, we do a lot of shows. Whatever.
Well, can I find them on our website?
I'm Chris Perry.
And I'm Colin McGuire, and we are out of time. So for now, remember, everybody, this always could be better.